Hi guys, we're here again this morning with our friend Jeff Wilson. Today we're going to spend a little time exploring Nackawic, New Brunswick. Nackawic is kind of in the heart of the head pond portion of the St. John River, between the Nackawic Dam and the Heartland Covered Bridge, which is basically your fishing limits on this stretch of the river, because above Heartland it gets real shallow. Nackawic itself, beautiful, picturesque, small town, great location, great boat ramp. Jeff, you're kind of our local expert, being a part-time resident of Nackawic. I want to thank you for being here with us. What can we expect today here in Nackawic?
Well, you know, we had 20 degrees last night and 5 degrees this morning. We can expect to be cold. I think the thing is, we've been catching lots of fish here. The Nackawic's a great spot. You know, I bought a cottage up here 5 years ago. I've explored this, just wrote an article for Fishing Canada, and I did the shore fishing here. We got 21 on the shore fish. So I'd like to be able to do the same thing. I wouldn't let you cast into the marina here because I want to make sure see if we get a topwater blow up right first thing this morning. But thanks, Fishies, for coming. Nackawic is open for business. Great town. They host tournaments here, the muskie tournaments. They host the smallmouth tournaments, and just the venue's excellent. And you know, the town was built in 1970, so all the infrastructure is really new. Underground wiring through the whole town. Great spot. Really encourage people to come to Nackawic. They got a beautiful new retirement village being built right now, so if you want to retire and catch some fish, Nackawic at the Bend.
Well, why don't we stop talking and start casting?
Okay, buddy, let's do it.
Yeah, I can catch them shallow, I can catch them deep. Muddy water or the back of the creek. Wind and rain to me, it's all the same. I make a living playing this game, and I thank the Lord above every time I can. I get to be a fisherman. Yeah, I'm a fisherman.
Jeff, we're just heading out of the Nackawic Marina. We've got a cool fall day. Where are we headed first?
Well, we're gonna let's not hit this point, and from there we're gonna go around the corner. We'll just get out of the wind and right in front of the big axe. Actually, there's a nice weed bed goes along there. Lots of different pockets and stuff. They chase the bait fish up on these points. Of course, we got the Nackawic stream running in here. And we've got the main St. John River that runs down, and this is really where the Nackawic head pond starts versus the St. John River. They call it the Bend, Nackawic on the Bend. And so the river is coming north-south, and then it goes east-west here in front of Nackawic, and then it goes north-south again. So, you know, it's a great location. As you can see along here, you can see the weed beds all along. Really easy now with the low water. But, you know, let's see what we can do. Hopefully we get some nice action on some top water this morning. You know, a little bit of a cold front, but the fish want to start feeding in the fall. So we usually put our weight on in the winter, but they usually lose their weight on the winter, right?
Well, like you said earlier, it was 20 degrees and raining at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And when we got here to the marina at about 8 o'clock this morning, we were looking at sunny, windy, and only +5. So a massive temperature swing overnight. The winds picked, well, no, actually it was pretty windy in that rain last night too.
Yeah,
but the wind shifted from a different direction. We're going to see what that does to the fishing this morning.
Let's hope hope for the best.
We've been out on the water here in Nackawic, 20 minutes, working the weed line, literally just around the corner from the launch. Ooh. Ben and I are...
You want me to get the net?
Yeah, Jeff, I think we might want the net on this one. It's not the biggest, but it's definitely a nice fish.
Well, we might as well.
Oh, let me get him out front of the boat here.
There we go.
Oh, that's not a bad fish.
I said I don't know if you want the net or not.
I go, it makes mine look silly.
I'm going, yeah. And you know, the thing is, if you look right up there, you can see my house.
Literally I was just looking at your house, Jeff. Look at the size difference of those two, just to give you an idea.
Yeah. Now look at that. Look at the belly on that thing.
This guy back.
Look at that.
Beautiful, beautiful fall fish here in Nackawic.
Oh my geez. Yeah, you guys wonder why I like coming up here to visit the cottage.
I can't understand why you bought a camp here, Jeff.
Yeah, great job. Okay, good job.
Beautiful, thanks.
Sure. Okay, here you go, me son.
When winter arrives, the temperature drops. And here in the Maritimes, our excitement rises. We embrace the adventures that cold weather brings, like new discoveries with old friends, a hot plunge on a chilly night, familiar faces in cozy new spots, and fun days that become chill nights. In New Brunswick, we know how to do winter.
We're working a weed line just along the shore, obviously. And all I'm doing is throwing a weighted jig head, just a standard ball jig, decent weight because you want good solid bottom contact, with a small jerk shad on it. Let it hit bottom. You'll feel the bottom. Give it a second, then give a real aggressive snap. Jerk that up off the bottom. Let it settle back on slack, not super slack, because if you get a bite, you're going to want to feel it. But let it fall back on a slack line. Reel in your slack. And then do it again. It's going to give your forearm a workout. But your forearm's going to get an even stronger workout when one of these big smallmouth grabs on.
We got a nice one here, folks. Just working that outside weed line. Simple Texas peg worm. We can show you that rig in a minute. This is a real nice one. He was hidden deep in those weeds, and the reason these fish are in the weeds in the fall is that's the last place those bait fish are gonna hide. That's where the predators are gonna go. Right in there. And you get results like that.
There we go.
Nackawic is such a conveniently placed location where you can come out in the fall, nobody's on the water but us, and get tubbies like that. Little straight shank worm hook on a stick bait. Pop that out. Nackawic, smallmouth bass, can't beat it on the head pond in the St. John River. Easy to locate, find those weeds, and work them. Get rewarded like that. Let's get her back in the water. Woo! All right, so we're talking about that simple Texas rig. You've seen us use it before in different situations, but what you want is a bullet sinker, no peg, meaning you want it to slide up and down, right? So it's unpegged. This is a typical stick bait, call it a Senko, stick bait, many different brands make it. My little tip though, if you're fishing anything that's slender like that, choose a hook that's also slender. Not the big extra wide gap, but what we call a worm shank hook. And I feel that you can get in and out of those weeds a little bit better. And when you rig it, Texas like anything else, pull it back and make sure you pull that tip back and get it exposed so you get that nice weedless presentation. Very simple. Don't be afraid to go play in the weeds. You might get rewarded.
This walking trail, it's about 2.5 kilometers. At one end is the Big Axe Brewery and the other end is the Big Axe. So it's beautiful. They've done a great job. They groom it, they mow it, they build bridges across all the creeks. It's done. I think in the last couple of years, they spent like $100,000 making sure it's good. So it comes right down here in front of my place, of course, and I think it's fantastic. I mean, it's a walking trail only, so you're not allowed motorized vehicles and that sort of stuff. And it gets used quite a bit. It's funny, like, you know, it's one of those things you never realize you like something until all of a sudden you're on it. And I mean, I love walking it, and they walk it every day with the dog, and you know, I mean, religiously every morning. So they always see me out here fishing constantly. Boy,
I'll tell you what, Jeff, your backyard is a pretty fun place, buddy.
A good spot, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, you don't have to go far. I mean, I don't even think, did we even turn the big motor on today?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, hooked up on a really nice fall smallie here.
Just thought I'd wave to the wife up there in the window.
Oh, hold on, she's not ready yet. That's a real good one.
What a beast.
It's a beast. We take our time. Keep the rod tip low. Turn around easy. Easy. Ready, Jeff? It's coming your way. Yes! Wow! You know, they say to come out in the fall because it's fun fishing. A lot of guys like going hunting. Here in Fish East, well, there's no hunt in our name, is there? Don't be mistaken, folks. Even though Mr. Wilson is wearing camo, there are some nice smallmouth bass to be had in the fall. Look at that. Jeff, what can I say, man?
Awesome.
You know, we've been all over the province.
Yep.
Nackawic is just one of those places that has an amazing scenery, an awesome facility to put your boat in.
Oh yeah, great facility.
And I mean, within footsteps of the launch, we're getting big old smallmouth bass like that.
Yep. All along the shore.
Just along the shore. Basic, so
basic
simple.
fishing, yeah.
So, hope we got a chance to showcase your backyard a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you folks want to come get some of this Nackawic smallmouth action, so simple. That was caught on a Senko, little stick bait, just wacky rigged and right by the shore. So
real close to my place. Now put them back so I can catch them later.
yes, sir. Sir, you don't have to tell me that twice. On that note, we'll catch you next time on another adventure, Fish East.
We're all looking for the perfect escape. Some of us want to slow down, be still, and savor, while others are always in search of the next boundary to push. The perfect escape means something different to everyone, but the common thread is connecting to what brings us to another world, one that's just the perfect amount of away. Book your escape. Visit tourismnewbrunswick.ca.
Hey guys, what's going on? I mean, look at the type of morning we have here. I mean, we're what, last week of October, and behind us is the Nackawic River leading into the St. John River, or what we call the Nackawic Head Pond. Donnie, what are we crazy? I mean, there's nobody in the parking lot. What are we doing today?
-3 first thing this morning, frost on everything, rained heavy yesterday, everything's froze up, but we're gonna go chasing some smallmouth.
I'll tell you, fall smallmouth is one of my favorite things to do, and I'm going to show you some techniques today and how to get on top of them. Let's get going.
We've been on the water here in Woodstock for a little while now, just doing some scanning mostly. These fall smallies tend to bunch up, and you're never 100% sure where you're going to find them. There we go. He's under the boat. This one hooked up just on a 4-inch tube.
Oh, nice fatty
too.
Where'd he go? There you go, got him. Good fat fish. Nice, that's what we're talking about in the fall, Don.
We were
just talking about this.
You get your fall smallmouth, they feed up. They feed heavy for winter. He couldn't have been hooked that bad because he just came unhooked in the net, which is perfect. But it's not super like an absolute tank of a fish, but nice thick belly. You know, these fish feed up heavy and get ready in this cold water to handle another New Brunswick winter. So that's a great way to start the day. That's definitely the kind of fish we're looking for here in Woodstock. So let's get this one back in the water, go find some more.
All right.
Oh, nice one.
I changed it up again, Donnie. Just kept on changing based on what I saw. I saw a bunch of boulders up on shore, so I thought a little square bill might do it, and guess what? It did it!
Very nice.
Very nice
fish.
Right up in there.
Oh, gotta love these fall smallies.
Oh, man, they're all chunky, aren't they?
Even they're not the longest fish we've seen this year, but they got some
chunky though.
Thick top to bottom.
A little square bill. So we're gonna get the trebles out of his mouth because he hit that pretty good. All right, there we go. So, square bill crankbait over the rocks. Talk to you about my setup for that in a second, but before that, I'm gonna put that little guy cruising around the rocks. Ooh, he's cold.
Oh yeah.
What's the water temp?
We're at 49 degrees Fahrenheit.
49 degrees and they're still biting. Isn't that awesome? Go and put that back. All right, as you saw, I just caught that fish on a square-billed crankbait. I get a lot of questions about what's kind of setup I use when I'm crankbaiting, and maybe what I'm about to tell you might be a little bit of a surprise, but this is what I always do. First of all, I do like using a clip because I get to change the colors quickly. You're gonna notice that entire spool is on fluorocarbon, and there's a reason for that. This happens to be 12-pound fluorocarbon. When you're pulling anything that's moving, like a crankbait, a jerkbait, or anything of that nature, you want it to have a little bit of stretch. And if you see this rod, it's got a ton of stretch, specifically to crankbait with. And what I'm doing is I'm making sure that that bill of that crankbait is always making contact with the rocks. And that elasticy setup is forgiving enough for it to slide on the rock, not get caught, and come around and deflect. And that's what you want, because that's what's going to trigger the bite. What just happened there, we knew there were some boulders on that shoreline, cast that crankbait up shallow, pulling out towards the deep, and it was just moving around those rocks. Came around one and that smallie smoked it. So last key advice, try to use a slow reel retrieve ratio. This one happens to be a 5-to-1. I like it nice and slow. I know guys say, yeah, you can use a 7-to-1 high speed and slow down, but you really can't. It's about the cadence. So try going with a smaller retrieve ratio, fluorocarbon line, and a nice moderate forgiving rod. And I think you'll catch more fish on those square bill crankbaits. You need a net? Oh, you do need a net.
I could get it. We hit these zones. And sometimes you think it's time to move. This is the cause of those famous words, one last cast, is because you get talking about moving, you're gonna make a change, and you say, oh, one last cast. And then one last cast turns into one more fish. I don't know what else to say. It's just one of those days that we all hope to have, we all get to have every now and then, but not as often as we'd like. Today's been one of those days.
Thank you for being safe, for being fun, for being strong. Thank you for taking a tour or seeing old friends or new places. Thank you for visiting your own backyard and rediscovering its beauty. Thank you for having fun and being sensible about it. Thank you for visiting your province and falling in love again. Thank you, New Brunswick. Let's keep going.
Guys, we're out here today. We're literally into the second week of November. In some of these fisheries here in New Brunswick, you can really extend your season if you want to. Water temperatures are down into the low 40s Fahrenheit, 43.7 right here where we're at. But with the right gear and the right time to think about what you're doing and the right precautions, you can extend your season. So what are we extending our season for today? The elusive muskie. We've got Marlin Prince hanging out with us today, one of New Brunswick's muskie masters, and he's going to see if he can't get us into a trophy St. John River muskie right here in Woodstock.
So Marlin, how important is it for hook sharpening? Because it looks like you're pretty focused.
Deadly important. It's most important thing with muskie fishing is fresh hooks. Make sure you get a long shank on there. If your hooks start to get even nubby a little bit from over sharpening too much, change them out. Believe me, if you're not changing those hooks out, it could cost you the fish of a lifetime. All right, we are fishing. I would straighten her out a little bit even more, Ben, like right towards that shoreline.
Oh, like really like,
yeah,
perpendicular.
Yeah, because I mean, you were kind of on an angle coming back, right? So we want to just keep putting it in front of them fish. we're using this Garmin technology here, the Panoptics. We've got this facing backwards towards our trolling spread, and we can actually pick up our baits right on the screen. You see these two little ticks. So we've got one bait. I always like to have one fairly close to bottom, so some of these big lazy muskies, they don't like to move far. This is a great way to make sure you're not going to get snags and that really dial in that bait. And then we just vary our depths. We have another one up maybe only 30 feet back behind the boat. It's a deep diving crankbait that gets me down around 15. Then we also have, it's out of the screen right now, but we also do have a bait you can see on our turns that is probably up around 10 feet. So 3 different baits out, 3 slightly different actions on these baits, and 3 different levels of the water column we're covering. Again, with trolling, it's all about efficiency, and this is an efficient way to cover water and put your baits in front of fish at different levels of the water column. Net, please. Oh, I gotta grab the net. It's probably not far, right? Nope. Hey buddy, anytime we get a muskie on the line, it's a good day.
Well,
we got to bring him in head first into the net. I think we're a little tangled here.
Yeah, we are. Our leader here.
Pull him to me. And seal the deal, buddy. Right on. Woo!
Oh.
On the board, boys. Good start. Wicked.
I really don't even know what to say right now.
Gorgeous muskie.
Definitely not the biggest the St. John River has to offer. I know Marlon's got a couple 50s or close to it himself, and I caught one muskie just upriver from here a couple years ago fishing a bass tournament accidentally. Probably a little bit smaller than this one, but my first targeted muskie, 2nd week in November. So if you think just because the leaves are gone off the trees that the fishing season is over, no, not even close. And that is proof right
Beautiful,
there.
buddy.
St. John River muskie, 1st week in November, or 2nd week in November in Woodstock. Doesn't get much better than that.
We've got just an incredible fishery here for numbers, size. Literally, this is a world-class fishery on the St. John. 40, 50-pound fish caught, you know, every year. And yeah, there's plenty of them out here. So get in touch, and we'd love to get you on some monsters.
It's not every day you get a chance to do this. And just remember, when you come for muskie, it's not about the numbers you're going to catch. It's about the quality of fish you're seeing. And we definitely saw one quality muskie today, and I look forward to getting out with you again, Marlon, and finding some more.
Right on, brother. Cheers.
Fish on and fish east.
I can catch them shallow, I can catch them deep. Muddy water or the back of the creek. Wind and rain, that was a big one. It's all the same. I make a living playing this game, and I thank the Lord above every time I can. I get to be a fisherman.